All right, man. Let's get to the rest of this. I want to declare. I want to declare on Veterans Day. Was it happy birthday to the Marines? Is it that's the ones that go hoorah? Is that Marines? Hoorah! I think so. Happy birthday to you guys. God bless America. I'm so thankful to live in this country. Sometimes. But I'm here to declare and decree the title of America's team needs to be shifted. You need to take the mantle, take the nameplate off the mantle of the Dallas Cowboys as America's team, and we need to shift it. I know this may come to a shock to a lot of you, and I know this may even make a lot of you mad at me and upset at me and hate me and say mean things about me and talk about I've only had one play and that my hairline's receding and that whatever you want to say about me. I get it. I understand that it may take you to that point. Don't worry, when I get my money up, I'm going to Turkey. I'm going to get my hairline back. And that's right. I only had one big play in the National Football League, but please never forget it was in the National Football League. And you and I are further than you think we are. We're not close. We're not the same. In the words of the great Kendrick Lamar, they not like us. But I have to remove the title, take it off the back of the nameplate, unstitch it, and remove it, and say the new America's team, to me, is the Detroit Lions. Dan Campbell has become the new America's coach. What Detroit is doing right now, if you watch them in that fantastic Sunday night football game, and you watch them over the last couple years, they represent what the American people are far better and greater than the Cowboys do. They're gritty, they're tough, they're resilient, they continue to fight and find a way. They came from nothing. They came from nothing and they found themselves being a competitor, brick by brick by brick. They are the American dream. They drafted, they acquired, they developed. They gave coordinators their first opportunity. Aaron Glenn, never been a defensive coordinator before, defensive coordinator. Ben Johnson, a career backup quarterback, offensive coordinator. The GM, Brad Holmes. Stamp. First-time head coach, Dan Campbell. Brick by brick by brick. Talking about taking an opportunity and seizing the moment. They didn't start off that way. It was a little rocky at the beginning. But the Fords say, in the knee-biting Dan Campbell, we trust. And they fought, and they fought, and they figured it out. And here they are right now, 8-1 football team. I know Kansas City has the best record, and they have the history and the lineage to give them a lot of praise and credit, as we should. There's not a better football team in the National Football League right now than the Detroit Lions. I don't care what Kansas City is doing right now. They have the better record, not better football team. They're not. They may have the better quarterback because he's just Patrick Mahomes. Not a better football team. They may have Chris Jones, who might be the best defensive lineman until Aiden Hutchinson got hurt. Still not a better football team. The Detroit Lions, to me, America's football team right now. They are America's darlings. They are America's sweethearts. And if I have to root for another team this year, it's the Detroit Lions. And not only are they, now I will say, Jared Goff, I was rooting for you in the MVP race. You just lost it. Only way you come, you got to have you have to have a 500-yard, 5-touchdown game. But you threw 5 picks last night. You're done. It's a great story, but the odds of you winning MVP, you just lost them. You lost the game that you could have continued on your march. You threw 5 picks. You fell in the rankings to me with that. But you talk about America's team and the way that they fought and grit. They even have an American story. You guys know I love me a good story. From rags to riches, from nothing to something, from the valley to the mountaintop. If you happen to watch the game the other night where the Detroit Lions defeated the Houston Texans 26-23. A last-second field goal made by their kicker, Jake Bates. And you're probably saying, what the hell does this have to do with anything, Jesse? Jake Bates, a year ago, was a brick salesman in Houston, Texas. And he had some tryouts and got cut in training camp and was at the crib and said, I got to do something. Now, I've heard of brick masons, brick layers. I've heard of brick breakers. I ain't never heard of a brick salesman. How you sell bricks? I don't know. Maybe he worked at like one of those rock quarries or where they had the center blocks and the red bricks and the other bricks and people came and bought them and bought houses. Maybe that was it. But he was a brick salesman a year ago. And now he's busting down the goalposts for victories against a very formidable opponent on the road. Like, though, I love you guys. You're talking to Mr. Fulton Long. I love stories like that. Guy who has some soccer background in college and, things didn't quite work out, tried some other places to play, and then now he's the starting kicker, kicking game-winning field goals for the Detroit Lions. Talk about America. Talk about living the American dream. I gotta put the title, and I know you're gonna be like, Jesse, this thing we talking about history. I know I'm Roger Staubach, and he flew a pilot. He was a pilot, and I got it. He came back from the Cold War. I get it. Okay. And Chad Hutchinson was. I get it. And 5 Super Bowls 30 years ago. Okay? I'm not denigrating or desecrating the history of the Cowboys. I'm just saying right now that title needs to go to someone else. Miss America can't be Miss America every single year. It go to somebody else. Miss America get old and get a little ugly. Sometimes that title got to be removed. The fastest man in the world ain't the fastest man in the world every single year. Sometimes that title get removed. I'm saying right now, unstitch that nameplate off the back of that jersey. America's team should now be placed on the Fighting Motor City Dan Campbell's, the MCDC's, Detroit Lions. Tell me what y'all think. Leave the comments in there. I'll see them. I'll read them. Some of y'all will cuss me out. It's all good.